Oh, Star Wars. Make no mistake, I don't hate the series, but I don't think I really need to explain how the last few years have been rough. But if there's at least one thing about the franchise I still have a soft spot for, it's the LEGO line. Last year was the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, and naturally that meant a bunch of new releases to celebrate. A whole bunch of sets were released based on the prequel and original trilogies, and one of those was this guy right here, R2-D2. There have been brick-built R2-D2s in the past, in particular the Ultimate Collector series, but that version is still readily available and clearly has more going on with it. So is this one worth picking up in spite of that? Well, let's take a look and find out, shall we? As far as the build is concerned, there isn't anything here that will give any veteran LEGO fans trouble. LEGO is really good at having clear instructions, and there isn't any techniques used here that are that complicated. Although I did have a problem where the sticker sheet was crushed in the box, meaning some of the stickers already had creases and wrinkles in them. Way to go! Still, the end result is a very nice looking R2-D2. Like I said before, this guy is essentially a scaled down version of the UCS R2. Not every detail here is exact, there have been some liberties taken such as at the feet, but even so, this does a very good job at getting R2's general look in LEGO form. But I do have one exception, that being this section here. I don't need it to be able to open up like the UCS, I get this is a far simpler figure, but I do find this not being brick built to be a bit disappointing. Ultimately though, this is a minor issue. On the whole, R2 does make for a great display piece. His playability though is a fair bit more lacking. The build itself is solid enough, but there aren't any built-in features like with the UCS version. Instead, you get separate parts you can swap on for certain poses, specifically his third leg for moving, his retractable arms on his side, and his periscope. They're super easy to swap in and out, and give you just a little bit more options for how you want to display him. You also get a plaque with a printed on picture of R2 and some specs on his build. And as you might expect, this little space here is for an included R2-D2 minifigure. Not much to say here. If you have a minifigure of R2 already, you know what to expect. I do have to wonder though if they'll ever get around to updating this guy. It's been over 25 years, LEGO. You can afford to make an updated R2 minifigure. Strangely though, this isn't the only minifigure you get, as there's also a bonus minifig of Darth Malik from Knights of the Old Republic. Don't get me wrong, this is a cool minifigure to get, and he looks great, but this is clearly meant to be Episode 4 R2-D2. Wouldn't it be more appropriate for this guy to come with a prequel set instead? Maybe I'm overthinking this. Either way, it is nice to get a little bonus, and he is a great minifigure to have. Size comparison time. R2 sits at about 23 centimeters tall, a fair bit smaller than the UCS set, but he's still fairly large, and I have no doubt that he'll look really nice in a proper display case. Which, actually, I think answers that initial question I made. Is this worth picking up over the UCS? Ultimately, it depends on what your priorities are. The UCS R2-D2 is a $300 Canadian release, is much larger than this one, and has a bunch of built-in features for playability. This R2 is smaller and doesn't have any built-in features like the UCS, but it still looks really nice. It has enough extra parts that you do have some options for posing, and most importantly, this R2-D2 is under half the UCS's price at $130 Canadian. If you want a LEGO R2-D2 that pushes the idea to its fullest potential, then you should get the UCS. But if you want a LEGO R2 purely as a nice display piece, something that'll look good on the shelf and won't break your wallet, this guy is the one to get. Especially since he has a companion piece in the form of C-3PO. These two will look fantastic together. Both are worth picking up, it's just a matter of what you prefer. But that's all I've got to say on this guy. What LEGO Star Wars sets do you want to see made next? I'd like to see Anakin's Pod Racer or more Jedi Starfighters myself, but let me know what you'd want in the comments. This will probably be the last LEGO video for a while. We'll be going back to regular figure reviews next time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later!